Well, hello and welcome to another video. Today, as you can see, I'm sitting on the floor. Why on the floor? Well, because why not? Today I wanted to go through a few of the changes that were made to the original generation, the AP1 generation or the pre-facelift generation of the Honda S2000. So I've got my laptop in front of me so that I can read the list and I don't end up forgetting things. And yeah, let's get into it. So I have a 2003 model and I was happy to find that model because it has a few of the changes that were done to the car prior to the facelift. There were only a couple of changes in 2001. So if you have a 1999 or a 2000 Honda S2000, you won't have any of these. But in 2001, they added a digital clock to the radio. I imagine there's probably not a lot of Honda S2000s with the original radio still in them. But if you do still have the original radio and you have a 2001 or later car, you get a clock. Yay for a clock. And also they added the rear wind blocker just behind your head as standard in 2001, where it was an option previously. Then the big changes come in 2002. So let's have a look. Where should we start? Revised suspension. So in 2002, they made some updates to the suspension. The spring rates were increased, the anti-roll bar stiffness was reduced, and the dampeners were recalibrated. So not sure exactly what recalibrating they did, but that's the info I've been able to find. And they were made to, the changes were made apparently, according to Honda, to improve the steering feel and handling progression at the limit. So you'd probably know that a lot of the early model S2000s suffered pretty severely from snap oversteer at the limit, and for a professional driver that's fine, but for your average Joe like me, snap oversteer is not a good thing. It's quite a scary thing to know that it could do that. In 2002, they also changed the plastic rear window. I don't know if you call it a window, but that flimsy plastic thing that over time goes disgusting in yellow. They changed that to a glass one with built-in defroster. So that was really good because a lot of people were complaining about that, and rightly so. They also revised the tail lights. So if you have a look at mine, I have a silver ring around the tail lights, or a chrome ring. So that was added in the 2002 update, along with some updates to the headlights. They had a chrome backing instead of a black backing like you have on the earlier models. They also upgraded the stereo because the stereo was a bit weak. They added a couple of tweeters up on the doors, and it was bumped up from 20 watt to a 30 watt unit. Another upgrade they added in 2002, and this one's really important for people like me who live in Australia when it gets really hot, is they upgraded the fans for the air conditioner and consequently the heater. So it blows a bit harder, noticeably apparently on settings 3 and up. If I remember that correctly, because I didn't know that down. They added leather to the gear knob as well. So in the early models, you probably know they've got that all metal knob, and it in hot weather would get severely hot, like you burn yourself pretty badly. And in freezing cold weather, it just gets so cold you don't want to touch it. So they put a leather, they changed it. It was, rather than a round ball, it was a bit elongated, and there was a leather section in the middle just to help with that. They also did some revisions to the ECU. I'm not 100% sure exactly what those changes were, but just something that was noted by Honda was that the ECU was revised. Who knows what that actually was? If any of you do know, pop it in the comments below. The gauge cluster surround was changed. So around the steering wheel, all the plastic that surrounds all the gauges and the buttons and all that sort of stuff was changed from all black to like a grey silver. Also, they changed the wheel color slightly, a little bit darker and more metallic flakes through the paint on the wheels. So they're still the same shape and size, as the original ones, but they just changed the color of it slightly. Another thing they changed was a metal ring added to the interior door pulls. I don't know if it actually is metal, trying to think, but it's sort of a metallic look. But they changed around the door pulls, so where you pull the handles and stuff. That was all changed. I'll get some B-roll over the top of what I'm saying so you can actually see it rather than just trying to imagine from my terrible descriptions. The dead pedal on the floor was also changed from rubber, or I think it was just a plain black rubber one, but it was changed to be metal and rubber, like to match with all the other pedals, the clutch, the brake and the accelerator, just so that it all tied in nicely. Also on the interior of the car, they changed so down next to the driver, depending on where you live in the country, it's either going to be on your right if you're in the US or on the left, in my case, in Australia. The center section was changed to vinyl, I think. I don't know if it's leather or vinyl. What I've got noted down here is that, from what I could find, was that it was vinyl. So I guess it's like a fake leather. Rather than carpet, so wrapped up around on that center console section. Instead of having the floor come up and over the bulge, they changed that to a vinyl or faux leather, and it looks quite nice. And lastly, but probably leastly actually, the last thing I've got noted down here is that door panel storage net pockets were added. On the door there's just these tiny little pockets that fit almost nothing, like maybe a key goes in there. In fact, I think there is a key in mine. Left from the previous owner, and yeah, you can't fit much in there, but they're there. Yeah, so for those of you who didn't know what the changes were on the AP1 or pre-facelift generation Honda S2000s, there you go, there's a bunch of them. There are, I believe, other smaller ones that I haven't mentioned here, like I think the Honda badges on the front and back were slightly increased in size. Apparently the horn has a slightly different tone to it. A few things like that there was just so many, I decided not to put some of the little ones like that down. But yeah, hope this was informative for you. If you know of some other ones, write them in the comments below, because the more you know, right? I hope you enjoyed it because it was informative. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Have a good one.